All right, what's up, everybody? This is another episode of This, That,
and the other.
And we've been away. It was kind of our own fault, kind of Mother Nature's fault. A lot of crazy things have happened in the time we've been away. My birthday happened. I'm now 5 years closer to 40 years old.
Hey.
But in that time is kind of what made a big hiccup with this show. So last Friday, the 6th, was my birthday. I went out. I met with my buddy Clayton. We had a few drinks, had some fun, went back, ate cake with the kids. Everything was great. And I didn't want to record that night. It was my birthday. I was a little drunk. I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my birthday right now. No big deal. Tomorrow I'm going to go play golf. Tomorrow I'm going to go play golf with Clayton. After we're done with the golf course, then I'll record. Well, me and Clayton go out to the golf course, and we didn't go out till 5. And we were only going to play 9 holes. So it was going to be a very quick round of golf. Then we were going to go home, hang out, record, get the episode done, get it out there. Well, me and Clayton were not having that great of a day at golf. It was not the best day at the office for either one of us. We just weren't. We were both off of our game. It was fucking terrible. He still did better than me, but I was not doing so hot. Neither one of us were. Anyways, we get to about the 5th hole, and I'd been having trouble putting all fucking day. Couldn't sink it on the first shot. But we get to the 5th hole, and I'm on green, and it starts to rain just a little bit, like just sprinkles. We were like, oh, whatever, as long as it doesn't lightning, we'll play in the rain. Like there's no problem playing golf in the rain. I think it makes it more fun. The green gets more slick, it's more challenging. Who doesn't want to play in the rain? But it's my turn to putt, and for the first time in the day, I sink my putt very first try. As soon as the ball goes into the cup, it was like a movie. A fucking flash of lightning goes off, thunder rolls, the sky turns black, and it starts raining like a motherfucker. So we were like, well, fuck, we got to go now. Like, it's lightning, it's storming. Like, they were having a tournament there earlier, too. So there's like a crowd of people at the clubhouse, and everyone's just mad dashing to their cars trying to get the fuck out of there. So we go return our car. We put our clubs in Clayton's car. And then on the drive to my house is when shit was like really hitting the fan. The winds picked up really bad. Tree limbs were falling in the street. If people had like trash cans and shit, close to their yard, it was going into the street. We get to one part, and the entire half of the town has a fucking power completely out. Power lines are falling down. Trees are falling down. My neighbor's trash can ended up, on the other side of my yard. And so I get out, and I realize, like, yo, we're like in the middle of a tornado. Like, that's what's going on. Like, this is a fucking tornado right now. So I go inside, and it's kind of like, it's weird how the chaos just turns to calm within the course of 15 minutes, because 15 minutes later, the sun comes out, there's no more rain, and everything's just calm and peaceful. But you see the devastation all around you. Like, a tree fell in my backyard. Trees fell all up and down the street I live on. Clayton, it took Clayton like 40 minutes. So poor Clayton had to drive around in the rain like a motherfucker, because every way he tried to get home was completely blocked off. And mind you, me and Clayton only live about 1.5 miles away from each other. And it took him 40 minutes to get home because of all the trees and debris and all that shit in the street. So we looked it up, and it was a genuine tornado. There was 120-mile wind gust. When we were driving home, I had never seen it before. The rain was not touching the ground. The rain was just like wind tunneling. Like, you could see the rain traveling over the hips and valleys of the fucking roofs and shit. It was fucking wild. So what happened, we never lost power. My house never lost power, but we lost internet. So the power housing that powers the nodes that power the internet in my city, they lost power, and they were without power for a while. So
your whole town lost internet? Yeah,
my whole town lost internet. Like, no internet at all. At all. We didn't end up getting internet back until fucking Wednesday or Thursday. But the next day after the storm, we go play Topgolf. Ian's a lot better at Topgolf than he should be. It's fucking ridiculous. But it's basically like,
very surprising.
Yeah, but it's basically like, Topgolf is not real golf. If you go in there trying to play it like real golf, you're going to have a bad time. And also, it's very video game adjacent. And if you put a video game in front of Ian, he's going to figure out how to fucking play it and master it. And that's kind of what the fuck happened,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it for sure played a factor. I think, because honestly, I think I was trying to do the math and think about before we went to Topgolf, and even talking with Mark on the way there, like trying to figure out the last time that I had probably even played golf or like picked up a golf club or anything like that. And dude, it's probably, I mean, it had to have been like 15 years or something like that. Like it's been a very, very, very long time.
And
since we played golf.
the thing about Mark and Clayton, like Clayton is an avid golfer, so it completely makes sense that he can drive the fuck out of a ball. But Mark, goddamn, he can just smack the fucking plastic off of a ball.
Dude.
The one thing is though, when Mark hits the ball, he has no control over where it's going, but he's smacking the fuck out of it.
Flying.
Yeah, it's going flying. It's going flying. It's going to go left. It's going to go right. Might go straight, but it's fucking flying.
Going. Yeah. And then Clayton just drives the shit out of it, and it goes almost every time to the farthest net possible at Topgolf. Like it was just like, all right, dude, like hell, like you're fucking crushing it. But the thing is like, what's crazy about Topgolf is that even though it is so golf oriented, like the thing that they do, and which I guess played to my advantage with the whole like video game aspect of it, is that it adds that kind of like, you might suck at golf, but if you realize like, hey, here's your target, this is what you need to hit, this is kind of where you need to aim. And once you get the feel of what you're actually doing,
so when you treat it like a video game,
yes and no, because
it's like arcade golf, you know what I mean?
It is, but you still have to know how to hit a golf club and a golf ball, like because there were a bunch of people I saw playing around, like even the family behind us, like some of those people that were playing with us, like you could tell were total video game nerds, but
that's
still,
true.
still could not. And I'm sorry for using the term video game nerd because I'm totally one too. So that term, whatever. But the aspect of it having a video game, I feel like semi helps it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it makes it,
and that's
it definitely makes it more fun.
You gotta go in there realizing like I'm not playing golf, I'm playing a game right now. You know?
Yeah. And I went in. I went in not even
you're a good golfer. You know.
Well, absolutely. And that's the thing is like, I totally went in and I was like, oh, I'm going to suck at this. Like, I'm going to be so great. Terrible. And I didn't really do that bad. Like,
yeah. And I'm pretty sure you would want to go back now because you had a good time.
And what's even funnier is so like, I guess it was like 2 days after was a homie of ours, Ahmad's birthday.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he hit me up and was like, yo, we're going to Topgolf if you want to go.
Oh,
and
really?
I was like, I wish I could. I was really bummed I couldn't.
Did he go to the same one we went to?
No, he went to the one on like the West End or whatever. I think. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. We didn't get that much.
I remember there is one over there. I keep forgetting about that one because I've been to that one twice.
He asked me to go, and I was like, man, it would be really fucking fun to see if I was actually that good. Because I don't know. Maybe I could. The term like lightning never strikes twice, but maybe I could be that good again. It must have struck
twice in Monroe, dude, because we didn't have internet for a long time.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, yes.
So that's what I'm saying,
real
like,
Mother Nature aspect of it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like after Topgolf, you asked me, you're like, hey, so can we record it? And I was like, dude, I don't have the internet and I don't know when it's coming back. So like, I would love to, because we need to get it done, but I just can't. I can't. Like, I don't have the internet. Like, we were having to use my wife's phone as a hotspot just to watch fucking TV and stuff. Like, you got to understand the day and age we live in now, if you don't have internet, you don't have nothing. Like, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if you have data on your device, it's cool. You can use a few things, but we can't watch TV. We can't use the Alexa device we have. We can't use my computer. Can't use fucking nothing, Yeah. So you realize it's kind of shitty that we're that dependent on the internet nowadays.
And tying it even more, going back to the subject we were just talking about and what we talked about through text during this time, is that, like, you can't even play fucking video games nowadays.
No, I couldn't even play video games.
You literally, like, games are so connected to the internet nowadays that, like, you literally almost can't play video games nowadays.
I have the digital edition of Xbox, so all of my games are downloaded. I don't have a hard disk of anything, which I don't even know people who buy hard disks anymore. Yeah. But anyways, like, because of that, there's like a firewall there. Like, if I'm not on the internet, I can't play at all. Whether or not it's installed to my Xbox or not, I can't play. There were a few games that had offline modes, but they're so limited that, like, you get bored within 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only thing we could play was Crash Bandicoot, but it got like, no, but you if that's the only game you have, you're gonna beat it within a couple hours, and we did. Which also, I don't know if I showed you, they're about to put Crash Bandicoot 4 on Game Pass, so oh, cool. Well, I already have it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
yeah, I already have. That's what I was playing. That's what I was playing.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Yeah,
sick.
That's what I was playing.
Nice.
But anyways, so I finally get the internet like Wednesday or Thursday. I want to say it was Wednesday, but then it was like, should we record tonight? I was like, nah, dude, we're going to go to the show on Friday. We might as well record when we get back, explain everything, and then also talk about the Insane Clown Posse show. So that's what we're doing now.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Joey's first experience at an ICP show.
Which it was everything. I'll get into it. But it was great. It was fucking awesome. It was amazing. So we got to hit the road. We got to go to Alabama because the closest they're playing on this leg of the tour is Birmingham. So like, all right, let's do it. Let's hit the road. Let's go to Birmingham. Only 2.5 hours from Ian's house. Let's fucking go. We made sure we hit up Buc-ee's on the way because we had to. There's no way around that, especially if you're traveling with Ian. You have to stop at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, and to make it, well, I don't want to say to make it even worse, but to like tie it in even more, we get to Buc-ee's, and what happens when we first get to Buc-ee's?
Oh, it starts raining.
Fucking raining, like,
immediately.
Dude,
so,
you took this weather.
Well, like the whole way there, I'm looking at the sky, and like the sky just keeps getting increasingly darker. And I'm like, yo, dude, this is an outside venue, and we get about 20-30 minutes away from the venue and stop at Buc-ee's, and then boom, it starts pouring down rain. I was like, fuck, man, if this doesn't stop soon, they're gonna call the fucking show. Like if it lightnings or anything like that, they're gonna call it. And we just drove to fucking Birmingham to go to Buc-ee's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But luckily, we leave Buc-ee's and it's just drizzling at this point. Like it's starting to dry up. You're starting to get the foggy, humid, southern after rain weather that's just hot and sticky. And I'm like, all right, dude, things are looking up. This is the first time in my life I've ever been excited for that part of the weather because I'm like, you know what? The rain's stopping.
Yeah,
it's starting to look up. Yeah. So then we get to the venue, and I'm not going to blow up our spot. I'm not going to tell anybody where we parked, but we stumbled upon very free parking, which was very, very, very close to the venue. So everyone that paid for parking, you guys are a bunch of fucking suckers because you didn't have to.
But we didn't know that. We didn't know that.
Because mind you, when I pulled up, there were other people parking right there. But there is a no parking sign directly in front of where I parked. So I'm getting sketched out. Ian's getting sketched out, and we're like, yo, like maybe we should ask these guys.
Because we're not trying to catch a fucking boot in Birmingham, dude.
No, I don't want to boot. I don't want a ticket. Well, if I got a ticket, I just wouldn't pay it. I don't give a fuck. But anyways, so I see the guy getting out of his car. And I'm like, yo, can we park here? And he's like, yo, dude, I've worked here for 3 years. You can park there. I park there every fucking time.
Real quick, shout out to the employees that helped us at Avondale Brewing Company in Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all are some fucking champs.
Sometimes you just gotta have some balls about you. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking park right here unless they tell me I can't. And they were just like, I've worked here for 3 years. I park here every day. It's no big deal. That sign doesn't mean anything. And it was like directly in front of a business. And he was like, that business closes at 5 o'clock, so nobody's gonna call a fucking tow truck on you. And
and we got there like 5:30 or some shit.
Yeah, and then he even pointed out to us. He was like, that lot that everybody's paying to park at, like scanning on their phones and using an app to pay to park. He's like, you don't have to pay at that lot. So.
That's some bullshit though, man. I genuinely did. I felt bad for those people, like, because there's some asshole that's collecting that money some way or another, and like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
These people are literally
it's the
just
app that they're scanning to use.
No, I know, but
it's just
okay,
collecting money.
So it's some fucking corporation that's collecting all these people's money for fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Like it literally doesn't matter, and it sucks. But hey, it's the price you pay for not knowing, I guess, right?
Yeah. So we get there. We're like an hour and a half early because it doesn't start till 7. This is like 5:30, and there's a pizza place that's directly connected to the venue. Like it's inside of the venue pretty much. So we go out there, we have some pizza, we play some pinball. Ian found backstage and got yelled at for taking pictures of backstage.
Hey, look, in my defense, there was a little window, a little tiny window. It was probably as big as my head, and through this window, you could see the Faygo bottles in their containers on stage. So I was like, oh shit, I'm going to snap a little video of this and just to see. And of course, right when I'm fucking recording this video, an employee at the pizza spot walks in and is like, busted. It's like, oh man, come on.
They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. But in the long run, they were cool with it. You can't have an area that is literally right next to your bathrooms that sees the backstage area and not expect people to look through these windows. Like, come on. Like, it has to happen all the time.
But the thing is, we finished the pizza, and it's like, we're still like, fuck, it's still like 45 minutes before the doors even open. Like, I guess we're going to go stand in line. So we stand in line for what felt like forever, but that's when we really start seeing the crowd, when we really start gauging the crowd. And boy, let me tell you, we were in Alabama. It's It's the same thing.
But let's add though, before we got in line, we went and got some fresh Fagos out of the car to wait in line.
You have to. But and it's kind of like what I tell people all the time. Like Birmingham seems great. Birmingham seems like a cool place. But you could tell that the crowd that was there was from Alabama. It's kind of like when I tell people are like, "Oh, you're from Georgia." It's like, no. I'm from Atlanta. I'm not from Georgia. These people in the crowd, and no offense to them, you could tell that these were very Alabama. Like they traveled just like we did. They traveled to get there. I feel like there was a lot of that going on. I don't feel like very much of the crowd that was there was from Birmingham, you know? You could tell people, and the thing is, people were bringing their whole fucking families. There were so many goddamn children there, which I didn't expect to see. Like, and I mean, like little ass kids.
I can definitely say I do feel like, and I was actually just telling Shannon this earlier, I do feel like there was a lot more children. And by children, I'm talking under the age of, let's say, 15.
Oh, I want to say under the age of 10 because there were kids.
Okay,
under
yeah,
the age
even
of 10
that. Okay, so yeah, we can do that too. But like, I feel like there was a lot more here in Birmingham than there was at the Atlanta show, and there was quite a few kids at the Atlanta show. But I do feel like there was significantly a lot more in Birmingham. Like, a lot.
No, it was great. But see, the thing is, that kind of adds to the atmosphere because, you know, like nobody's here for the bullshit. Like people aren't going to be trying to start fights and stuff. People are trying to enjoy this and have a good time, which you should be there for. Because I realized at that time, like ICP really is something. It's a wide range of audience. It really is for. It's kind of like a scene you gotta get your feet wet in and get into. But like once you're there, you understand. Like I felt
you
welcome
realize
there
it's for the family.
Time, you know? Yes. But I felt welcome there the entire time. Nobody was really giving me a dirty look. Nobody was like, what the fuck are you doing? Everyone was there on the same wavelength. Now, I will say, after we go inside, there was a guy there that kind of stood out, and he seemed relatively well known. People were asking to have their pictures taken with him, like multiple people, like at least 10 to 12 people around us were asking this guy to have their picture taken with him.
For sure.
And he looked like, you know, he had white contact lens in, he had some clown makeup on his face, he had fake blood on, he had like UFC gloves on. I think he might be some type of a wrestler. I don't know if he's in JCW or not, but he was talking about taking bumps and stuff. So. Yeah.
And was wearing the WWF fanny pack.
Yeah. So either way, like people who are really into the Juggalo scene more than myself, they knew who he was because people were coming up to him left and right asking for photos, and he was kind enough to take them. He was a cool guy. He was there. He was a good time. The whole night, he was a good time.
Not only do I feel like he was a wrestler, I feel like he was a dude that might just be well known in the Juggalo community.
It could just be that too.
Because like a few stories that I overheard, just like listen, because they were literally right fucking next to us. Mm-hmm. Like overhearing people talk, it was like, oh yeah, I saw you at this show. Like I remember seeing you at this show like 5 years ago.
And he could just be a super fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I overheard a conversation that he was having, and he made a really good point because I will say, you could tell the people who were there because they really like the music and they're really into ICP. And then you could tell scattered amongst the crowd, there were people who were there for the novelty act of it, just to see the spectacle so that they could go home and say that they've seen it. And he made that point. He was like, you know, it's kind of turned into this trend where it's kind of like war, which I even said on our last episode. It kind of has a war aspect to it. There's a lot of people who don't give a fuck about the scene, who don't give a fuck about the Juggalo community, who just come here and fucking, you know, have a time so that they can be like, oh yeah, I saw ICP. I did. And I agree with him because I could see some of that going around. But to the point of that, I've seen that with every scene I've been a part of.
Absolutely.
I've seen people infiltrate it just so they could say, I mean, how many times have you seen somebody who doesn't give a fuck about hardcore go to like a Knocked Loose show or something, or like look what Turnstile turned into because of the broad audience, just so people can be like, oh yeah, well I went to a hardcore show. Like, oh dude, I saw Knocked Loose. It was so sick.
I mean, dude, it can even translate into like, I'll say my scene, like the emo pop punk scene,
even
like
Warped
people
Tour, even that type of shit, you know?
Yeah, or like with Newfound Glory, like, oh, I went to a Newfound Glory show.
Exactly.
Like,
and they don't give a fuck. They know maybe 3 words to one song of a Newfound Glory, but they want to tell everyone that they went and saw them. And you see that in every scene. And I will say I did see it at ICP. I did see, you know, a handful, probably at least 10 people who were there. And I'm just like, yeah, like they don't give a fuck about this. They're over there. They're heckling people. They're pointing and laughing at people. Like they want to just be able to go home and be like, look what I did this weekend. And it's unfortunate that happens, but it happens with every scene, whether it's hardcore, whether it's pop punk,
I will say
whether it's this, it happens to every scene.
Oh, absolutely. And so like I agree with everything you're saying, but also like I think also I was kind of one of those people to an extent, not to the point of like there for the novelty, because I've always wanted to go to an ICP show. I've always like, even as a kid, like I always wanted to go to an ICP show, but I've just never like been that into ICP. But then when I saw ICP for the first time and actually like through you started listening to more and more and more ICP, I've become a fan now. And seeing them a second time, it was kind of like, yes, I am here for the experience. And yes, I do want to experience this show. Like, I've already experienced it. I experienced it less than a month ago. So, like, I kind of knew what to expect. But even so, like, it was a whole nother fucking experience.
And to that point, that's kind of what I wanted to do, because, like, part of me always wanted to see them and wanted to find out, but I genuinely wanted to make sure I liked their music, that I was going there with the proper intentions, that I wasn't going there just to be one of these guys that this guy was talking about. So as you know, I spent a very long time listening to their music, making sure like, do I like this? And the thing is, I like their music. I enjoy it. I don't give a fuck what people have to say. Like, I like their music. It's fun to me. It's a good time. I listen to it in my free time, listen to it in the gym, listen to it when I'm driving. I like the music. So I had to make sure that I actually like the music before I fork out the money to like, because my thing is with me, and this doesn't go for all the other people that were there. For me personally, if you take the novelty act and it's just that, I would get bored of that show if I didn't also enjoy the music, because I mean, you've seen them come out, like once they fucking, you know, flip the Fago and do whatever they do on the crowd, then the rest is just the music. So I feel like for me personally, I have to at least enjoy the music if I'm going to be there for an hour, because it's like, okay, I saw 15 minutes of them doing, you know, their shtick, their gimmick. Now what's left? Now the music's left. Do I actually enjoy this show? You know?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have gone there if I wasn't a fan of the music. I'd be like, oh, that looks like a good time, but it's not for me, you know?
I actually experienced like, I think the kind of opposite of that too, where like I saw people that I was like, oh, they're those people. Like, they're here for the experience. Like, not to call out people, but like people that were standing near us, I was like, you guys are literally just here to say that I went to an ICP show. Like, that you are here for the experience. You don't know ICP. And those motherfuckers sang to every goddamn song.
Speaking of which, like, you knew like, a surprisingly good amount of the lyrics, like way more than I expected you to know.
Yeah. Well, that's because like going into the Atlanta show, I don't want to say I did research, but I did listen to some ICP songs that you had said listen to. And then like when you had sent us the set list, I kind of went through and I listened to those songs, because like, you know, you can get on Spotify or you can get on Apple Music and you can literally just sit and listen to like the top 10 bangers or whatever you want to listen to. You know what I mean? But like, if you look at their set list, there were quite a few songs that
deep
like
cuts, dude.
Well, not only deep cuts. Well, yeah, but like even so, like you got to scan and it's like the 25th or 30th song on the list, you know? So like I had to take it a little bit further. And then after the Atlanta show and realizing what songs they played in Atlanta and which some songs were not on the set list that we had seen and some songs were. So I was like, okay, so let me kind of study these songs. Let me listen to these songs more. And then, when you actually were like, yo, we're going to fucking Birmingham, I was like, okay, word, let me listen a little more. Like, and I did. And so I don't want to say I knew every word, but I knew the majority of the songs that they were playing because I keep saying not research, but like because of the fucking research I did, like, so because I sat and listened to the songs and learned.
And so we'll jump into it, because they had two openers. They had this guy, I believe his name was Sammy Sosa. He was putting on a good show, but his microphone kept cutting out.
I felt so bad for him.
There was about two songs where his microphone was just completely dead. God, and you could see the frustration on his face. He was trying to be a good sport about it, but it's like, what are you going to do? And then after that, Wacko the Kid played. He was a lot of fun. Wacko the Kid is a lot of fun. Great energy, great show. You know, his whole posse with him, like, that was a lot of fun. And then
I'ma smoke weed till I die.
Yeah, but then you know it's time for the headline, and you can feel when he leaves the stage and they're setting up for ICP, you feel a big shift in the energy. Like you feel it within you. Like you're like, oh shit, something epic is about to happen.
Yeah.
And then, the lights come on and they kind of slowly just march out and just triumphantly stand there in front of everyone. And they give the big Cebu ECW salute. And for a minute, it was just so surreal. It's like, I can't believe I'm actually seeing this, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is when you see them in person, these are two big motherfuckers. Like they're both over 6 feet tall. They both have larger than life personalities. There's these big ass dudes in clown makeup, and it's surreal to see for the first time.
Expect it. Oh, dude, when I saw him in Atlanta, like I didn't expect, like, I knew they were big dudes, but like seeing them and then like seeing them with the other people that come on stage and shit, like they are big ass dudes. They are tall motherfuckers, and not only that, but like Violent J is a big dude
Violent
in
J's
general.
A big dude. Violent J's like a 300 pounder. Like, he's a big old boy,
and he's what, like 6'4" or whatever he is. Like he's
6'2", 6'4", something like that. He's
huge, big dude. He's a massive dude.
I should have known, because when you look back on the wrestling clips, you can see they're not smaller than the wrestlers, but it's not like that was ever clicking with me. But like, you're right. Like when they do the Fago, so they have this part of the show where they do these Fago breaks, where like this big group of guys dressed as clowns come up. They have these coolers that are filled with Fago. Fago's just launching left and right. But at that moment, you can tell like Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope are like towering over everyone else.
Yeah.
Like they're that much bigger than everyone else. Like these are huge motherfuckers. And speaking of which, there was this one part of the show that was fucking awesome where Shaggy just takes a 2-liter bottle of Fago and just dumps the whole thing on his head, and then does like the Triple H fucking spit into the crowd with it just fucking coming out like that. It was fucking awesome to see.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. So he did it. I feel like he only probably did it like once in Atlanta. But dude, in Alabama, he did it like 4 times.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like there were multiple times. And what's even crazier is, I guess, here we are, what they say, 24 years, 34 years? How long has it been? 24?
32, something like over 30 years now.
Yeah. So like they've been, no. It's been since 91. So
that's 34 years.
Oh, fuck, it is. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so since then, I guess they've adapted and learned, but like, these motherfuckers' makeup never runs.
Oh, never runs.
Like never fades.
And
I
heard in an interview they have a secret for getting out, but they didn't want to tell the secret in the interview, so I'm not going to spoil it for them. I'll tell you off camera. But there's a specific reason why their face paint doesn't fuck up like wrestlers' face paint does and shit.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I wish some of their fans learned that, because those fans, man, they looked like they just got done.
Rough.
There was so much bleeding mascara going on, dude. Fucking much, dude. Face paint all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
But I will say, the guy that was in the crowd with us, he seemed to have the trick done too, because his face paint didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it stayed. Yeah. I mean, there were definitely a few people that I did notice, like, some people's was fucked up beyond belief by the end of the show, but like there were some folks that like it straight up stayed. But like, also, I saw him at the end of the show. I did want to say,
Ian pointed out, and I feel like I will say this. I feel like seeing them for the first time outside wasn't as good as if I had seen them in an indoor venue. I really want to see them in an indoor venue just because I feel like the energy shifts a lot. But it being outside gives them more range for the Fago bottles. Ian was not kidding. There's not a safe place to stay. So there's this area at the venue where there's the pit area, and then there's a gate, even though you're level with each other, but there's a gate right there separating the general admission from the pit. Me and Ian were right on the fence at the gate. During the first song, a Fago bottle flies directly over my fucking head. Like, had Fago in my eyes and everything, it flies directly over my head. And then they were just plopping left and right next to us. There was a balcony at the venue. It's a 2-story balcony, and behind the balcony is the fucking parking lot. Fago bottles were flying over that and landing into the parking lot. I went to go use the porta potty, which is at the very fucking other side of the venue, like up against the wall, like easily 100 yards away. As I'm in the bathroom, Fago bottles are landing over there from the fucking stage. Like, nowhere is safe. Like, you're gonna get pelted with this shit. But I will say, I did something. I caught and grabbed one of the Fago bottles, and I was proud. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this home as a souvenir. I was walking to the bathroom, and this like 14-year-old girl with her mom came up to me, and they're like, did you catch that? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, can I take a picture of it? And I was like, well, yeah, you can take a picture of the bottle. So she took a picture of my hand holding the bottle, and she seemed excited just to take a picture of the bottle. I was like, this is weird. And I was like, do you want it? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, you can have it. And so I came. So So I came back to Ian and I was like, man, you're going to hate me because I just gave this girl my Faygo bottle, but I had to because she was, obsessed with it. And he's like, oh, dude, it's cool. And then he pulls out that he's got one.
I had already caught another one by the time you went to the bathroom. But what's fucked? Okay, so the reason I caught that bottle in that bottle specifically is because, dude, oh my God, I felt so bad for this girl. The girl standing directly in front of us. When I'm talking,
was it the girl with her daughter?
It was the girl that was like with her boyfriend or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm talking, this girl got drilled. Like I am talking, that bottle came full steam and just pop right in her forehead, dude. But that shit went straight off her forehead, and I went thunk and caught it right in the middle air. So I felt really bad for the circumstance that I caught the bottle, which also you found it in your car, right?
Yeah, it's in my car.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's in my car.
Yeah, I left it in your car. I left you a little
It's in my car.
surprise.
It's going to be on the wall at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, though, is like with Atlanta, where me and Mark were sitting in Atlanta, I would say probably like somewhere around like 10 bottles probably went to where we were standing because we were a little further in the back. We were under the balcony, so bottles couldn't easily fly back to us.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. The kid in front of us whose girlfriend got railed, I swear that dude probably caught 5 bottles.
Oh yeah,
like,
I remember seeing him leave. He had his hand was like this fat. He had at least 6 bottles in one hand.
Like what the fuck?
But and what are you gonna do with all those? Because in all honesty, like I was even contemplating. I was like, if I come home with one of these empty bottles, that's too much for my wife to declare it trash. Like, what are you gonna do? Because I mean, there is a point where it's a souvenir, and there's also like, dude, you're collecting trash at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I get it as like if you are a like.
I feel like one is enough. Like one is.
But even so, like even if you're like a uber diehard fan, like if you are one of these like diehard juggalos, like to the fucking core, life and death revolves around ICP. Like I get it in that circumstance. Like I fully understand it because like but know that motherfucker.
It's gonna attract ants. Like you.
Well,
you
not
just
if you clean it out and stuff like that.
I don't know, dude.
But if you clean it out and do all that kind of shit, because here's
all
the
I know
thing:
is I got one, and one is enough. One's enough.
But you know that there are people that probably have Faygo bottles from like '94. Yeah, like you know what I mean.
I feel like
there's
it's one thing. Like if you get it signed, then yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, hell yes.
Speaking of which, so in closing, before we get to our next, because we got a little fun thing to do at the end of this episode. But so if you pay money and you get their VIP package, first of all, we were talking to somebody who did it, and apparently they just treat you like one of the homies. You get to come back there, you get to hang out with them, you get to talk to them, you get to have your picture taken with them. They'll sign like 3 things of your choosing, and then at the end of the show, you get to come out on stage for their last song and be one of the guys that sprays Faygo on everybody. So at the end of the show, there was like maybe 20 people on stage who paid extra money to
I feel like there was more than that.
There may have been.
Jesus Christ, there were so many people on that damn stage. There were people on stage that
got to do it, and then I was like, man, dude, next time they come to Atlanta, we should shell out the fucking extra money, and we might be one of those people on stage, throwing Faygo at everybody. We'll see what happens. But moving on, ICP, that was honestly one of the best shows I've ever been to. But moving on,
did I not tell you that?
No, that is
a reason. That is a reason why I say after I went to that show, not only am I a fan now, but that show easily moved up into like some of my top shows. Like,
oh yeah, it's definitely a top
incredible show.
It might even be okay. I'll tell you this: if it was at an indoor venue, it definitely would have made my top 5 easily. But it's in the top 10. So next time I see him, I got to see him inside. But so Ian did something really cool. He gave this to me the day we went to the show. So back in the day, WCW had these trading cards, and I was telling him there was this lady at my church who gave me a bunch of them when I was a kid. So back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, I had like fucking 200 of these cards, and I don't know what happened to them. I haven't seen them yet. So when I saw this, it was like a relic of the past. So what we're going to do...
And hold on. I want to point out to everybody that these are still sealed.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, I might have paid $4 for these packs. But
I feel like that's a deal.
If you notice, they are from 1991, ladies and gentlemen. 1991.
So I'm curious because
Look, dude, I don't know if you noticed too. I thought about even maybe trying this, which I know that it probably doesn't exist anymore. But there is a PO box at the bottom of the thing.
Oh yeah,
that
don't
you
even
can
try.
write. Yeah, I mean,
try.
I know, of course, but it would be funny.
When I had these, I had like a really cool Rick Steiner. I had like 5 different variations of Sting. I even had a Jim Ross card. Like I had some Lex Lugers. I had some Flying Brians. I had some badass fucking cards. So I'm opening this right now, and we're going to see what's in here. I'm only going to go over the bangers with you guys because there might be some duds in here.
All right.
Let's see. Oh, these are not the same. These are the same style I had. Okay. Oh, man, this is like memory lane because I had this exact card. This Flying Brian, I had this exact one.
Hell yeah.
Had that exact one. There's an Arn Anderson in here. I had this one.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's sick.
Because sometimes they're red. Yep. I had both of these Steiners. Both of these Scott and Rick Steiners. I had these.
Oh, damn, you got both. Sick.
Yeah, I had the Fabulous Freebirds. I had the Ron Simmons. There's a really good Sting right here, which I had. Dude, okay, so I haven't seen one that I didn't have yet, which is kind of weird.
Oh, shit.
I haven't, but there was this one that I'm looking for that I had.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
Hold on.
Okay,
Let me see.
okay.
Because before I say it, you might be holding it because there was this Sting card I had that was my favorite Sting card ever. He was wearing his pink and black face paint and the pink and black gear with fucking frills coming off, and he was wearing the WCW belt. That's my favorite card of all time.
Okay, well, on that note, I did pull this one.
Oh, that's the same one I pulled.
Yeah, that's a sick one, dude. That's a sick one. That's a dope one.
All right, so let's see what's in the second pack.
Let me see what else we got here. Oh, dude, this one's pretty sick just because of who it is. Fucking El Gigante, dude.
Oh, I pulled that one too.
Yeah, that one's sick. Yeah, and then we got green. Maybe the green were like the
green were the
maybe?
Managers because I have Missy Hyatt right here.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I
got
had a Teddy Long in that one.
Oh, dude,
and see, okay, so in this
Lex
one,
Luger, dude.
in this one, Sting is wearing the getup I was telling you about, but he's wrestling. See?
Oh, here you go. This one's sick. Sid Vicious and Sting.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm about to show
sick.
you because I got that exact same one.
Nice.
Right here.
Sick. Dude, how old?
Yeah.
316 pounds, it says, for Sid Vicious, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Good God.
Got
here we go.
Brian.
Here's a classic. A little Ric Flair, dude.
Oh, I think I may have had that.
Little Ric Flair.
No, I got a Ric
Flair
Flair
action?
where he's doing a promo. He's wearing his little suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See?
Oh, hell yeah.
But, but
dude.
I always loved.
Here you go. This is who you just said.
Yeah, I have that one right here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But this has always been my favorite Scott Steiner card. This one right here.
Yeah, that one's sick. Dude,
Right.
I got two Freebirds. Those are sick.
2 Freebirds.
Yeah, those are sick.
So I'm also going to do something that I never do. Mark got me a figure for my birthday.
Hold on.
Wait.
Before we open that, we're gonna open the second pack. Let's see what the second.
You haven't
pack
opened your
holds.
second pack yet? Hurry the fuck
dude.
up.
Hold on. I was going through those. I was letting you go through yours.
Christ, how long does it take?
Oh my God. Okay, another Arn.
You're probably going to get some duplicates. I got some duplicates.
Oh, dude. Here we go.
Oh, you got the Jim Ross. There you go.
Jim Ross, dude. Little classic Jim Ross. Oh, here's another Sid holding up Sting. Same outfit.
Damn, they took a lot of pictures from that match.
I know that. Yeah, definitely. Oh, here's another Flair, but in a match.
Okay.
Who's he fighting there? I wonder. Kind of looks like Hogan. I don't know who that is.
Nah, Hogan wasn't there in 91.
Or not Hogan. I'm sorry, Macho Man.
Macho Man, I don't think was there either.
Freebirds. Oh, here's another Ron Simmons.
There we go.
Let's see who we got. Oh, there you go.
Yep, that's the one I was talking about. That was my favorite card, dude.
That was a sick one, dude. That
was
sick.
always like, so I had a binder, and that was always on the first page of the binder.
Also, look how fucking big that belt is.
Yeah, it was enormous. Takes up like his entire torso.
Massive.
Yeah, big gold belt.
God, dude, that's a big belt. Big old belt.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, those were fun. Those are cool. I'm glad I found those for us. It was some guy at some retro store had them. So
Mark got me a figure of the greatest wrestler to ever live, Bret Hart. And so what I'm going to do is something I never do. I never unbox toys, but it's got, or I never unbox figures, but it's got what is called includes soft goods gear, and I just have to find out what the fuck that is. So
It's got to be his jacket, right?
no, because he's wearing his jacket. There's something behind it. There's some type of white cloth behind it, and if it's like gear for a ring or something, I'm gonna be pissed. Let's see. Let's see what this is.
No, it's got to be something cool.
No, check this out. They did some really good attention to detail on this figure too.
Well, I think aren't those the ones that Matt Cardone's doing? Isn't he the one
Matt
putting out
Cardona?
those style? Yeah, isn't he the one putting out those style figures?
No, so he does like Major League Bindums or something like that. This is made by Mattel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Because they look like
All right,
the
check it out.
old classic
They got the
mold.
graphic on the back, which is really fucking cool.
That's dope. Does it say Heart Foundation?
Yeah, Heart Foundation.
Oh,
baby.
that's rad. That's sick.
Let's see what's this wrapped up in paper in the back. Please don't be something stupid. It's something stupid.
What is it?
It's just different hands.
That's the soft goods?
I guess so.
Really?
Yeah, it's in this little bag in the back. Oh well. But now I got a little Bret Hart that can travel around.
Well, is
everywhere.
his jacket actual material?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe
But
that's.
when I saw something wrapped up on the back, I was like, oh, it's got to be in there. But nope, it must have been his jacket.
That's cool though. That's a sick figure. That's a
Oh
sick
yeah,
figure.
dude. It's gonna
Shout
go
out
with me
Mark
everywhere.
for the sick figure.
Yeah, dude. He's gonna protect me on all of my travels.
You're gonna have to put him up on your shelf behind you, dude.
Yeah, dude. Anyways,
That's sick.
that's all for today, guys. Other than that, I guess you can tell everyone where to find us.
Thank you everybody for listening to our synopsis, or no, I guess it wouldn't be a synopsis. Our storytelling of our ICP experience. But if you want to listen, or as always, check us out on Instagram at TTATO Podcast ATL. Again, that's TTATO Podcast ATL. If you look on YouTube, it's This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. Again, that's This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. You can find us on all streaming platforms. Make sure you search This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian so that you can find us, because we are Joey and Ian. So this is This, That, and the Other with Joey and Ian. Thank you again so much for everybody for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for streaming on whatever platform you're listening on. Again, thank you, everybody. We love you, and we will see you next time.
All right, peace, dude.